So the 2025 WNBA draft is happening on Monday, and this is going to be possibly, unless players start dropping out of the draft, this is going to be my final mock draft. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll do one more mock draft the day before the draft, because that's when people are probably going to start viewing it. But this is my post NCAA tournament, WNBA mock draft, and we are going for the first 2 rounds. So we are going through picks 1 to 25. I'm not going to go into the 3rd round because after that, you just never know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to draft for what and what type of players are going to be on the boards. So, obviously, the first pick is the Dallas Wings. And with the first pick, the Dallas Wings are selecting, well, that was from the Paige Bueckers video, and obviously they're selecting Paige Bueckers. Paige is as sure thing as it comes. There is no way that anyone is going to pass up on Paige. Because does she have the highest potential in the draft? I'd say second. I would say second highest potential in the draft, but she has one of the lowest floors we've ever seen. Paige Bueckers is likely to be an All-Star as a rookie. Worst case scenario, she's a 10-3-3 player as a rookie, which is still really, really, really good. So yeah, obviously we've got Paige here at number 1. Sorry, something sticking into my back end of my t-shirt. But Paige is going to be number 1, no question about that. With the number 2 pick, it is by the Seattle Storm, who got it in a trade for Jewel Lloyd. And with the number 2 pick, the Seattle Storm are taking Dominique Malonga. Dominique Malonga in Euro Cup is averaged 18.5 points per game, 11 rebounds per game. Euro Cup's a higher level than NCAA college ball. She's playing against WNBA players constantly. She's playing against some of the top players in the world. She came up against a team with Julie Vanloo, Leah Rue, and Chechi Zandalasini. And unfortunately for Leah Rue, who left the LA Sparks because she wanted to be a backup center and compete for a title, Dominique Malonga is better than you today. She's going to come right in and just do something at the WNBA level. She's got a bit of ability to shoot the 3 ball. Again, didn't shoot the 3 at the greatest percentage, 28. I think she shot in the low 30s for the year, which is okay. Shot 56% from 2 on the year. But if you're just looking at these games, she rebounds the ball really well. She actually passes the ball really well. And Dominique Malonga just runs the floor better than almost anyone as well. So that is who I have going with the number 3 or 2 pick. At number 3, the Washington Mystics. They've got 3 of the next 4 picks. And I think they're going to use one of them on Sonia Citron. I think Sonia Citron is a fantastic complementary piece. I think she comes right in and starts for the Mystics. I think she comes in and starts. The real question is, does she start over Carly Samuelson? Or do the Mystics try to find a way to... If I'm the Mystics, honestly, I do what I can to find a way to get up to 2. Like, even if it is giving up 3 and letting her go to Seattle where she can come right in at the 2. I think that they should do whatever they can to get Malonga if you are at Washington. Because Sonia Citron is a really good complementary piece. Obviously, her points per game gone down from 17 to 14. That's just from the addition of Olivia Miles. She was playing the 1 last year. Obviously, the assists being the same, averaging nearly 2 steals a game. Her turnovers went down, though, which is good. Obviously, handling the ball a little bit less. And yeah, her 3-point shooting at near 40%. The only thing is she is streaky. She's very, very streaky. She started off the year shooting in the low 20s. But you've got a 6-1 complimentary piece that's going to come in and potentially start day 1. So I don't know if she's ever an all-star. I don't know if she's ever a star, but she's going to be a really, really good player. And then at the number 4 pick, I have the Washington Mystics drafting out of LSU, Anissa Morrow. Anissa Morrow doesn't necessarily fit with the Washington Mystics. She's a power forward. People are like, oh, she only has the size to play small forward. So does Nafisa Collier. So Maisha Hines-Allen is a 6'1" power forward center. Like, Maisha Hines-Allen has made an all-W first team, I think. Or was it second team? Either, and it was the bubble, but still. Like, you can be successful as an undersized player in every form of basketball, especially as the game becomes more positionless and you're going to be seeing more, like, big guards out there. As long as the more big guards are out there, the more the motor matters. Like, you shouldn't draft somebody based on their frame, especially if their game doesn't project. Especially if it's someone like they're just tall, but their game doesn't project that high at the next level. I think Anissa Morrow's motor is going to be good at any level. I think She's someone that I was expecting to be there at 8 for Indiana. But just with the way that this draft has gone, I think she actually might go 4. Even though they do have Aaliyah Edwards, they do have Shakira Austin. I don't know how much you trust Shakira Austin's health. I don't know how much you trust Shakira Austin in general. And if I was the Dallas Wings, I would be very comfortable moving off Shakira Austin if you're getting an Anissa Morrow. I really like Aaliyah Edwards. I think Aaliyah Edwards can be this like super mobile 5. And I think that an Edwards and Anissa Morrow is just supremely athletic. Both of them are strong enough. Both of them play bigger than their height. And I think that the two of them kind of playing the 4-5 long term could actually be a really good fit for the Dallas Wings. So I thought it was like, Jesus, the Washington Mystics. And at the number 5 pick, the Golden State Valkyries, they have to make a splash and they got to get a big name. And I predicted them to take AZ Fudd here. And I actually think there's a chance they take Hailey Van Lith here. But I'm going to go with Kiki Iriafen. I don't rate Kiki Iriafen. Like, if you were asking me best players available in the draft, I'd have her at 8 or 9. She shoots 49% from the field. She doesn't play with the highest motor in the world. She'll hit a couple of, she'll sometimes get hot from mid-range and she'll look exceptional. She ended the season with a 23% shooting game and a 20% shooting game. And in this game right here, by the way, she started off game 3 of 3 from the field and I think missed 12 shots in a row. If Kiki shows up, they might have... If Kiki showed up, they might have actually beaten UConn. They might have been the only team to beat UConn just because of the way that team played defense. But it was Rhea Marshall who stepped up and took it to UConn. I think Kiki could be one of the biggest busts in this draft, but just because of the upside, you got to take her in the first round. And I just think it's a big name for the Golden State Valkyries. So I think that's what they are going to do. And for at number 6, the Washington Mystics, if they miss out on Dominique Malonga, I think they're going to take another upside swing. I think they're going to take another upside swing on a player who ironically plays for the exact same team as Dominique Malonga in Jusei Jacite. So Jacite she's bigger than 6 foot tall. This was the height she was listed at when she was like 14, when she started playing pro, and they never made her a different height. She's about 6'2". If you're looking, she got Lithuania into Eurobasket while averaging 17 points per game. She was the best player on a floor with Emma Mason, Julie Van Loo, Julie Allemond, Kiara Linskins, with 4 WNBA players. She was the best player on the floor against them. She's been okay this season for Asvel. Not Malonga good, but I think she's been good. And obviously, look, she was a prodigy. She was an absolute prodigy. You can see right here, under 16's European Championship in 2019 when she was under 14. Playing 2 years up, averaging 20 points per game. And did the exact same thing when she was under 16 playing the under 18's European Championships, averaging 20. Like, she could play in it the next couple of years, average 11 points per game at the under 19's World Cup. But the thing is that she was eligible. She was under 18s? Yeah, she was a year young, and it was a Lithuania team where she was the scout. 12.1 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2.6 assists per game. I think they're going, if you're looking for a 1, especially if you're Washington where you're in a rebuild, you take upside over the sure thing in a Georgia Amore. And to be honest, in my opinion, like you'll see later on in this draft, I have this weird feeling that Georgia Amore is going to drop a little bit. And I've actually looked at my draft. It's going to move most people down a position. I actually don't even have Georgia Amore in my drafts. But no, Georgia Amore I think is going to fall a little bit more than expected. But yeah, I'm going to have Jusei Jacite in here at number 6. With the number 7 pick, the Connecticut Sun are on the board. And I think the Connecticut Sun are going to do everything they can to make sure their fans still show up. This is a team who lost every single starter. You've got to really start from scratch. The team doesn't really have a point guard. Like, if you look at the Connecticut Suns roster right now, they don't have a point guard. So they're obviously going to draft one. You're looking Diamond the Shield. JC Sheldon might start point guard day 1. Lindsay Allen is their point guard. I'm sorry. Lindsay Allen is not a good enough starting point guard. Layla Lacan might start at the 1, but I think she's a little bit raw. I think by the end of the season, Layla Lacan might end up being a starting point guard. But this is a team that if they win 8 games next year, they should be happy. I think just to put butts in seats, they're going to draft Hailey Van Lith. I can see Hailey Van Lith going 7 in the draft. And I think when it comes to Hailey Van Lith, she's somebody that is... I just think she's someone that could be really, really, really good. I think she can score. I think if you put her on a bad team, Hailey Van Lith can come in and average 11 points per game in the WNBA. And I mean that especially because you've got a coach that is not going to play double inside bigs. And Hailey Van Lith, they're not going to dump it into Tina Charles as their tactic. She can play the way Julie Van Loo plays for Belgium, kind of this hybrid 1-2, get a lot of shots up, play like a mini Arike, and I don't think she's that much worse than a Julie Van Loo. I think she can come in and give you decent minutes, and I actually think she might be the starter day one for the Connecticut Sun. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a really good pickup for them, and I actually see them going with Van Lith over Georgia Amore. And at number 8, I think they're going to go international. I think they're going to take Aisha Sivka. So, Aisha Sivka is, again, Aisha Sivka's a really, really, really solid player. But that's kind of it. It's a potential with Sivka, though. At this stage, I don't know how good she's going to be as far as the WNBA is concerned. I just don't. I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, I just don't know where she's going to fit in immediately. I don't think she's quite good enough yet. And I think that she's just got all that potential in the world. And I think that she's going in the first round purely because of Leonie Fibic. I think that is the reason she is going in the first round, because Fibic is the archetype. I don't think she's as good as Fibic. I don't think she's going to be as good as Fibic. But these 6'4" European hybrid 2-3s that are the size of the 4s, and I think they are a unicorn players. Which is why I was like, when people were talking about giving up Fibic to get Satu, I'm like, I wouldn't give up Fibic for Satu straight up. And I'm like, if the Liberty are considering trading for Fibic, like, I would have given up the Satu package to get Leonie Fibic if I was Indiana. But obviously they weren't doing that. But yeah, like, I think it's gonna be a bit of a weird pickup at 8, but I think they're gonna do it. And at number 9, I think it's gonna be a really interesting one, because there's a player here that I've not talked about yet that could be very good. Georgia Amore could be nice in LA. I think they're taking Sanaya Rivers. I just think this team needs defense. There's so little defense on the LA Sparks. Why not draft the best defensive guard in NCAA college ball? Why not? You've got someone that maybe isn't going, that you've got a couple of years to maybe try to get her to figure it out on the offensive end. And I've seen a lot of comparisons to Jordan Horston. Jordan Horston is one of the best rim finishers in the WNBA. Sanaya Rivers is not that. She's can run the pick and roll pretty well, but she can guard the other team's best player. I think she can do that at the WNBA level. So yeah, let me go and put Sanaya Rivers on the LA Sparks. And for the Chicago Sky fans, you're going to be extremely happy that this player has fallen into your lap. It's Cheyenne Sellers. Cheyenne Sellers' knees don't seem to work anymore. Like, it is disturbing when you see somebody play with the knee brace the knee brace that they give to people when they like tear their MCL or their ACL just to make sure their knees stay stabilized. When you see someone playing games in like a knee stabilizer brace, you know something's not right. And she's someone who shot way better this year, who has played better defense, but can pass the ball, can play the 1, which she did at Maryland, is a modern day point guard. And I actually would be way, way higher on Cheyenne Sellers. And I would strongly consider taking Cheyenne Sellers at 3. But I just think the injury concerns are so much. And maybe I'm overthinking things. And maybe at, let's say, 6, you would rather take the injury concern with Sellers over taking the project in Josite. because they're both kind of risks in different ways. But I still, and I do think it could end up being the case where if Jasite falls, Jasite will be taken over Sivka. So Sivka might be available here for Chicago, and they might take Sivka. But it'll be a really, really interesting one to see what happens all around here. But I do have the Chicago Sky taking Cheyenne Sellers here with the number 10 pick. With the number 11 pick, the Minnesota Lynx, this one's a tough one for the Lynx because there are genuinely players that don't fit, and I'm not sure who's gonna make, if she's even gonna make. I'm not sure. Not that she's not gonna make the roster. I don't know where the fit is for anyone. I think the Lynx are just so set, and the Lynx maybe need a center, and I don't think there's a good enough center here to pass up on Georgia Amore. So what I can see happening is I can potentially see one of her or Grace Berger not making the final roster because Natisha Heidemann is under contract, or they might look to trade Natisha Heidemann. If Georgia Amore is on the board and I'm the Minnesota Lynx, I'm looking to trade Heidemann because I think Georgia Amore can come in and give you exactly what Heidemann gives, if not more. And if you need more size at that point guard position, you got Grace Berger out there. Amore can sometimes hit threes, can handle the ball extremely well, is a flashy passer, is a really good passer, and is a player that has top 5 ceiling. The problem is she is 24 years old. She's 24. So she should have been killing it in college. She's 24. So yeah, we have Georgia Amore going at number 11. And ending up the first round is a player from Kansas State who's projected a lot at number 12. And don't worry, Dallas Wings fans, I have not projected you guys to take Sedona Prince. Serena Sundell. Serena Sundell, 7.3 assists per game, is a 6'2" true point guard, can shoot the ball at a decent rate, but you can just look at her 3-point seasons, 35, 25, 39, 32, so it's obviously inconsistent. But I thought she was really good last year. I didn't think she played particularly great against US. Maybe, was the game? She was very good against Kentucky. Maybe she was good against USC. There was one of the games that I watched her play where she was not good, and I cannot remember what it was. But either way, I only watched Kansas State play around 2 or 3 times last year, and I was a lot more impressed by her than even Ayoka Lee, because originally Ayoka Lee was projected as a first-round pick. But Sundell is someone that, if you can get her with a late first-round pick, especially if you're a team like Dallas, who you do kind of need, you need some guard play, because if you have any injury, or there is a possibility that they just say, we're going small, Ty Harris in, because Ty Harris is spectacular. Ty Harris is the best backup guard in the WNBA, realistically. And if Ty Harris gets into the starting lineup, then you've got Sundell, who gives them a different look as a 6'2" point guard. Again, I don't know how much he plays as a rookie, and if you're Serena Sundell, you probably hope you fall one more spot. I think a lot of people are probably hoping that they fall one more spot if you are a backup player, because the team with the 13th pick have the least depth in the WNBA. But yeah, I think Serena Sundell is going to be taken at number 12. And at number 13, we have a player that, more so, I just want her to go here because I think she might not make a roster if she goes higher or on certain teams. It's Te-Hina Paopao. So I'm not very high on Te-Hina Paopao. Obviously, look, she's gone down in points per game every single season, but not all. But 3 of her seasons were at Oregon, so it's not like they were she wasn't going to drop points going to South Carolina. The concerning thing is she shot nearly 10% worse, basically 10% worse from 3, and she shot badly from the free throw line this year. And the WNBA season starts in 2 weeks, or in not even 2 weeks, a month. She's only got a couple of weeks to prepare, and she is gone through a little bit of a shooting slump. She was very good against Texas, but she was anonymous in the rest of the NCAA tournament. She is not a point guard. She's the height of a point guard, not a great point guard. Had a not great super senior season, and isn't young either. So I'm just Like, I think when it comes to Pow Pow, she was someone who's projected maybe going as high as 4 last year, or for this year. And I think, honestly, her going to, her going in the draft last year might have been beneficial. Coming off a really good season, a high of winning a national championship with an undefeated South Carolina team. Like, I think had she gone in last year, you're looking at a first rounder. And this year, maybe not. Maybe not. She still might be, but I have her going 13. But the positive thing is at least she'll get burned for the Aces. Like, I think if she went 14 to the Wings and they already had Sundell, Ty Harris, all these other players, she wouldn't get played. But yeah, so that is where Te-Hina Pow Pow is. And at number 14, we have got a player that, like, I don't even really know what the Dallas Wings need, because I think they're good. They're deep, but they're not good, if you get me. Like, they don't have any, other than maybe Paige and Enrique and Dijonay, they don't have any standouts, but they have depth. Like, they have a lot of players that are actually pretty good. So if you look at their roster, like, Nalissa Smith is a WNBA player. Their starting five is probably going to be, they're probably going to play McCowan at center. But I have a really weird feeling that a lot of their lineups are going to be Maisha Hines-Allen at center or Nalissa Smith at center, because it doesn't really make kind of sense at this roster's current construction. But I think their backup centers are going to be these two players right here. So I think Maddie Siegrist is better than Nalissa Smith, by the way. I think Siegrist is really good for their forward. So I think they're really sorted at the forward position. I think if they take Sundell and Page, they're very sorted at the guard position, because Ty Harris and Enrique are really good players. Dijonay can kind of play that wing, maybe power forward at times. I don't even think Herbert Harrigan's a bad bench player. Not great, but not a terrible bench player. So it's like they have a lot of depth in there. And for that, I'm just going to take best player, BPA. I'm just going to go best player available, honestly. And for me, at this stage in the draft, because I don't think there's any particular needs for the Dallas Wings, the BPA at pick number 14 is Sarah Ashley Barker. She shoots the lights out. She scores. Alabama were good. And yeah, her super senior season. And if you're looking at her stats, obviously played a couple of times or a couple of years before she went to Alabama, and her points per game went up 10 from her junior to her senior season. Then it went up again the following year. But like, she shot a really good percentage from three, iffy free throw shooter. But maybe I'm blinded by that 45-point game, a double overtime loss to Maryland. But I don't think, there's always these players that, shoot up from a tournament performance or two, and she might be one of them this year. And she's just highest on my list of players, so I'm going BPA with her. And then at number 15, it is the Minnesota Lynx. And I genuinely do not think the Minnesota Lynx, I just don't even know what the Minnesota Lynx are going to do with this pick. I don't know who they're going to look at. I don't know what players they're going to look at, because I think they're almost sorted. I think they're just going to take Sanaya Fagan. They like undersized bigs. Like, they've had a lot of success with undersized bigs. I think she's going to sit on the end of the bench, like Elisa Peely did last year. I don't think she's going to play. But I would still not be upset with taking Sanaya Fagan, because she can score okay at the basket. She's a decent rebounder. She's played on a good team. Surely there's not much three-pointer shot. Yeah, she doesn't shoot the three ball. I don't know. It's a tough one between a lot of players, but I just don't think it's minutes for anyone. So I'm just going to throw Sanaya Fagan in here to the Lynx, because I don't think anyone they take here is going to play minutes. Or may not even make the roster, by the way. I don't even know. I don't think Fagan will make the roster, to be honest. At number 16, I've actually got a player for the Chicago Sky who I think is going to make the roster. I think with the number 16th pick, the Chicago Sky takes someone who would have been a first rounder a year ago, but went back for a super senior year and struggled a little bit, Maddie Westbeld. Maddie Westbeld to the Chicago Sky, just giving them that spacing. This is a team that has a 3-big rotation in the Chicago Sky, and they're trying to find that 4th big in the rotation. So if you look at how the Chicago Sky's roster has been constructed, they've got Elizabeth Williams, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso. And if you think that Beck Allen can play the 4, okay, but I think she's going to be maybe playing more to 3. I do think Onyewer and Beck Allen can slide up to the 4 at times. But like they took in Morgan Birch, who's there as a 6'4" shooter. Like that is what she's there. She was decent when she played the last time she played with the Sky. Am I right to say she played with the Sky? I think she played with the Sky in the past. I just need to see her seasons. What season did she play? Yeah, she played with the Sky, and she was okay for the Sky. So I think at the minute, she kind of has that spot. So I think Maddie Westbell will be fighting it out in training camp for that stretch 4 spot, because they don't really have a true stretch 4. They don't have somebody that is like a guarantee to kind of make shots at the power 4 position. And I think that if you can add a Maddie Westbeld to this team, I think she could be a positive WNBA player. And someone that would have been a first rounder a year ago, but went back for a super senior year. Still might not make the roster, but I think if she does, she'll play. I just don't think there's a point going 5 deep on those or doubling up on those type of bigs. So she is going to be competing it out for one spot. But again, this is the second round pick. At the 17th pick, the Golden State Valkyries are up. And I think the Golden State Valkyries, you see the way they didn't have their Hailey Van Lith. So they didn't get their hyped guard that will make fans excited to come watch. They didn't get Van Lith. They're going to get the next best thing with the 17th pick. And while they didn't get Van Lith, they're taking Lucy Olsen from Iowa. At 17, 5'10", is going to make the roster, is going to be their starting point guard at some stages this season, because Julie Van Loo is going to Eurobasket. You have to look when it comes to the Golden State Valkyries. They've got to put butts in seats. And if you look at their roster right now, Carla Late's going to Europe. She's going to Eurobasket. Temmie's going to Eurobasket. Julie Van Loo's going to Eurobasket. Janelle Salone is going to Eurobasket. Linskins is going to Eurobasket. Chechi Zandalasini is going to Eurobasket. That's why they have so many players. So they have all of these players going to Eurobasket. And I'm trying to think who's guaranteed to make the roster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've given that, and that's without Veronica Burton being chosen. So I think there's going to be a weird one I think there's going to be a mass exodus of Valkyries players. And I think even just to sell some jerseys straight away, I do think Lucy Olsen could be a good pick. As well as that, I think she'll be their starting point guard at a different stage. And I genuinely mean that. I actually mean that. I think she will start for them at some stage this year if she makes the final roster, just because their whole freaking team has gone to Eurobasket. With the 18th pick, the Atlanta Dream, and again, when it comes to the Atlanta Dream, I think they need a lot. They need a lot, and they don't need a lot. If you look at the roster again, Holly Winterburn's gone, who was going to be a shot maker. She's after getting in. She's out for the year injured. Naz Hillman's a forward. They've got their point guard sorted. They've got their starting 5 is sorted. But their best bench player, they've only really got Walker Kimbrough. I don't rate Maya Caldwell that highly. Haley Jones is going to have to come in as a kind of maybe 1-2 type player. So I think they're going to take a little bit more athleticism from the 5 position. I think they're going down to LA. I think they're taking Rhea Marshall. I think Rhea Marshall from that one game. I think that one game against UConn has pushed Rhea Marshall into a different draft category from 3rd round pick to mid-2nd round pick. And potentially higher. I think Rhea Marshall's got a little bit of athleticism. She's a great shot blocker. She's kind of a 4-5. She can play on the inside. She can move a little bit. And she's a lot faster than the 2 bigs they have right now. And she's the best available big remaining. because I think you have to assume Brittany Griner is going to get injured for part of the season. And with that assumption, I think she's going to get picked, and I think she's going to make the roster. So the Indiana Fever have picks 19 and 20. And I think with the first pick, with the 19th pick, they're going to take one of who I think could be one of the best picks in this draft if she falls to 19. Look, I do not know if she'll be there at 19. It just comes down to what teams are willing to risk. Anastasia Kosu. Anastasia Kosu is unbelievable. Like, she is a freak athlete who's playing in the Russian league. And obviously she's Russian playing in the Russian league, so it's not like people know better that much. She's a 6'1" athlete who is averaging 10 points per game in the Russian league. There are really good players averaging way less than that in the world. There are WNBA players averaging way less than that. By the way, Jaylen Brown's averaging like 7 points per game in the Russian league, and Jaylen Brown's not 19 years old. Not 19 years old at the time of the draft. I don't think she's going to come over as a rookie. I don't think she makes a WNBA roster as a rookie. But as a draft and stash player, I think she's got as much potential as an Aisha Sivka. I just think, obviously, because she's been playing in Russia, she's lost a lot of the hype. So I do think that is a really, really good pickup for them. And with the 20th pick, I think they're going to take someone to fight it out. One draft player, one player to fight it out with Elaine and to fight it out with Jaylen Brown. And I think the Fever just need connective pieces. Where better to get a player like that than South Carolina? Bree Hall. Bree Hall shoots the ball, plays defense, doesn't screw up. That's what she does. Is Bree Hall anything special as a player? No. But the Indiana Fever don't need a special player, especially with the 20th pick in the draft. I have Bree Hall going 20 to Indiana. Yes, is it South Carolina tax? Would she be up there if it wasn't for being at South Carolina? Maybe, maybe not. But I will have to say that she's gonna be there to fight it out. So yeah, that is my prediction there. And next up is who's next in the draft? I've just closed it out. Who is next in the draft? Jesus. I completely blanked. There we go. Picks by round. So apologies, lads. Next in the draft at pick number 21 is the LA Sparks. So the LA Sparks, they need defense, but there's a player that's just too good to at this stage is just way too good to not be picked at this stage. And I've got Isaiah James from NC State. And yes, this is the crazy thing about this year's draft. There are players that could go anywhere from 6 to 25. And I've said this the whole time. I was making this draft and I was looking through. In my original draft of this, I had her going 13 to the Aces. In my draft when I forgot Georgia Amore. And I was looking at where to slide her in. And I actually have Isaiah James going all the way down to the LA Sparks. Just because of fit reasons. Because I'm not sure teams are going to draft. I don't know how many teams are going to draft in the second round BPA rather than fit. And for someone like the Fever, don't need her. Like if you look at who's ahead of them in the second round, Fever don't need her. The Dream have Shakori Walker-Kimbrough, don't need her. The Valkyries, she might go to the Valkyries, but I think Lucy Olsen, they might just do that for jersey sale reasons. The Sky, I think Maddie Westbell's a better fit, especially if they get thing in the first round. If they get sellers in the first round. With the Lynx, no one's making the roster from the Lynx. The Wings have already taken 2 guards, so why not take? And I think BPA is Ashley Barker over Isaiah James. But Isaiah James, if she comes in, she is going to she's going to go and make that Sparks roster, and was exceptional, absolutely exceptional this year. She's a shot maker. She can come off the bench and just get buckets. And because you've drafted a Sanaya Rivers, you draft her college teammate. You've got 2 NC State players there. Then at number 22, The Chicago Sky. I actually don't think at this stage the Chicago Sky need any players. I don't think they need any players, so I'm just gonna give this guy a stash player. Take Annika Soltow. Like, Soltow is someone who obviously had a lot more hype in the past. Did not have a good year in Spain this year. Like, she didn't have a good season at all, to be fair. Like, she only averaged, albeit in a high-level league, she is... Oh, wait. Why did I think Soltow was available in this year's draft? I'm not 100% sure Soltow's even available. Because I was just kind of showing you guys the stats. Oh, sorry, yeah. Eurobasket is the wrong date of birth for Annika Soltow. So, obviously, if you're looking at Soltow here, for the under-18s German team, born in 2005. But if you look at your Eurobasket, it says she's born in December 2006. But yeah, so basically, she committed to Washington, never played at Washington. And, I don't think she played at Washington anyway. I think she was meant to be in this recruiting class. But she was playing in the Swiss League and killing it. Absolutely killing it in the Swiss League. But when she played in in Spain, she was averaging like 2 points per game. So it's one of those things where she was so poor in Spain, but so good in Switzerland. And the Swiss League is not a high-level league. That it's such a big drop that maybe she falls. But she's still, if you've watched Soltow play, she's a 6'4", 3-4 post player with some weird looking jump shot, but it goes in. It's almost like it's almost like a 2K glitch where she released one mid jump shot, but it's a player that I think the Sky don't need anyone, so why not just take a stash player? Like, at this stage, why not? Like, whoever's you take here is probably not making the team anyway. At number 23, I have the Washington Mystics actually, taking somebody and using them. I have the Washington Mystics at number 23, taking J.J. Quinterly. So J.J. Quinterly for West Virginia, averaging 20.4 points per game, shoots the ball mediocre, at a mediocre rate, 1-to-1 assist to turnover. It is going to be interesting with the Mystics what they do at that point guard position. Is Jade Melbourne playing that position like as your starting point guard? I think probably, just purely because they're when it comes to Jade Melbourne, they are like, I think they're trying to develop her into something and they're trying to tank. So why not? Quinterly can play, is mostly a 2 guard. It's sometimes maybe play her a bit at the 1. You can have the ball in her hand. And yeah, I was kind of a bit disappointed by how she played in that Elite 8 game. But I'll still have her going to the Washington Mystics here at number 23. At number 24, I think the Minnesota Lynx. It finally is happening, lads. I'm finally doing it. I'm finally pulling the trigger on it. The Minnesota Lynx draft Sedona Prince. Someone's going to take her. She's 6'7". She's 6'7" and just had an All-American type season in college. Yes, she's like 29 years old. Yes, she is older than me. But like, she was that 25-year-old beating up an 18-year-old Cheryl Swoops talked about. Sedona Prince can't guard. She cannot come up against players bigger than her. She struggled. She couldn't do anything against South Carolina. Sorry, it was not South Carolina, Texas. Like, she was anonymous. If she shows up, they win that game. All she had to do was show up. Not even be good, just show up. Like, Van Lit struggled, but they full court press Van Lit the whole game. But I have Sedona Prince going here at 24. I have somebody taking the risk at 24. At 25, this is purely a we do not want our fans to hate us move. I think the Connecticut Sun, having already taken Hailey Van Lith for the fans, having taken Aisha Sivka as a development player, I had someone like Timpson potentially being in there. There's other players as well could be drafted. They're staying in Connecticut. They take Caitlin Chen with the 24th pick. Caitlin Chen has already proven she can step up when it matters. I thought she was really good early in the championship game. She was really, really good against USC. So she was spectacular in these down the stretch for them as a fifth option. She's shown that she can do that. She can shoot the ball. She can pass the ball pretty well. She played in the UConn system. She's not too undersized. Is she the greatest player in the world? No. But she's from Connecticut. There'll be a feel-good factor amongst Connecticut Sun players. Amongst Connecticut Sun fans bringing in a Connecticut player. And she's someone who has shown that she can be, when she was at Princeton, she can be the best player in the Ivy League, which is not a bad conference. And she can then go to UConn and be a starter on a team that won a national championship. So, I'm sorry. If Raven Johnson can be a draft pick because shooting 30% from the field because she played on good teams. If Victoria Saxton can be drafted. If Tahina Pau can be a top 5 pick according to some people, just because she played in a good team and won a national championship. I'm sorry. If Tahina Pau in her super senior season, Caitlin Chen, why not take Caitlin Chen with the 25th pick? So anyway, yeah, that is the video. Obviously, there are players that I do rate that I didn't have drafted. Harmony Turner being a big one, and Michaela Timpson being a big one. I want to see what ESPN have for their best available. They have Timpson at 10. Wow. Wow. I think they have Jacita at 17. I'm trying to think what's the most different to what I have. Jacita at 17 compared to 6. Quinnerly at 24. Fair enough. Gaston from Auburn at 20. Who do they have as some of the lower ones? Ashley Barker at 29. Wow. Harmony Turner, 30. I'm trying to think, who have I not seen? To be fair, your one from Drake, I've seen good things. There's no way Bree Hall is the 45th best player available. Sydney Fulter, 50. Have I drafted someone lower than this? No. Imagine taking Hayley Cavender. Imagine if a team just took Hayley Cavender. Imagine that. But yeah, that is the video. A long video here, talking for 42 minutes. So please subscribe. I'll see you guys.